record. There we go. So we are recorded, but I'm going to make it go live in our Facebook group now as well. So let me just post that in. Hold on a sec. The group. There we go. Right. Turn that off, and we should be live in the group. Okay, we are live. So welcome everybody. So today we are, now I've got something on. Hold on. Okay, we are live. This always happens. It starts off and then you can hear it. Right, that's fine. Okay. So welcome to today's business spotlight, where I'm delighted to be accompanied by the lovely Dr. Kaz. So welcome, Dr. Kaz. So Dr. Kaz is somebody who's been very generous with me. Actually, she's done a session on me a couple of weeks ago, which was lovely. And so I'd really love to share what it is she does. And I'm just going to have a look at her Facebook page to tell you what she does, because she is a reikigrandmaster, an activator and a spiritual life coach. And she uses intuitive and integrative energy healing. And anyone who knows me knows that I'm really intrigued by energy. I use a little bit of it in my practice. And I'm very interested in the whole Reiki as well. So welcome, Dr. Kaz. It's so lovely to have you here. We have chatted on Facebook many a time, but we've never met. So this is lovely to actually see you as well. So Dr. Kaz, firstly, can you just tell us a little bit more about what you do? Those titles that I've just read, what does that really mean? What does it do? And how did you get into doing what you do now?
Okay, so basically the word Reiki typically to people's understanding, it starts from Usui Reiki. But what I've done is I've gone through a lot of different activations. So the word grandmasters is just like, so apart from just 3 levels of traditional Usui Reiki, I've done advanced Usui Reiki, and then I've done Kundalini Reiki. And I had like more than 60 other activations. And then I also do self-study, like reading books and then incorporating different modalities. And how do I come into my sort of like the get connected to my energy is essentially once I became aware and I started getting these activations, I became connected to like my higher self and higher guidance. And this may sound a bit difficult to comprehend, but so I've connected to like, oh, you do hypnosis, so you probably identify with this. I've been doing a lot of like like meditation that takes me to past life remembrance. And then I started integrating and remembering my past lives. And so a lot of the energies that I'm doing nowadays, and also I connect to my guides, like the angels and the source. So a lot of the energies that I do nowadays comes from direct connection to my past life abilities and the guides. For people that are familiar with spirituality, that's the concept of galactic and cosmic energy that is beyond this world. So it's like we're not the only galaxy, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah. So it's beyond that.
So how did you get into all that? And then we'll talk about how all of that wonderful stuff that you've just talked about, how it really helps us mere mortals, how does it help us? So how did you get into it, first of all?
Okay, so starting, everything just came to me about 3 years ago or 4 years ago. I was like, growing up, actually, I've heard that my father has said that my family, my grandmother, had kind of like psychic connection, kind of like she knows what's gonna happen, or she has sixth sense. And I also think that I feel things, but I live in Asia, right? I live in Thailand, so the world of spirituality was not really well known here. I mean, that's like the Thai spirituality, voodoo or whatever, magic, but I was born Catholic, which is the minority in Thailand. But being Catholic, I know about God in a Buddhism country. So I've always like grown up like having the like, you know, not to be religious, but the belief of Catholic is we have only one life, whereas Buddhism is like you have many lives. So I grew up kind of like I went to a convent school too. So I grew up was like, okay, you have only one life. There's God. I believe in God. But then the people around me, the majority of the country, they don't believe in God. So I was kind of like, okay, I'm no judgmental. I'm not religious, like in, you know, anything. I'm kind of like, yeah, open-minded, but also at the same time, kind of like confused. And then I had the feeling of like absorbing other people's emotions or whatever, but I didn't know that the word empath was alien to me. So I've been struggling with feeling depression my whole life. And then at a certain point, like when something very traumatic hit me, I was seeking out like, you know, methods to heal myself. And I reached out to an NLP coach. Like she does something online, but then like, you know, I didn't really go through with it, but she mentioned to me about the word Reiki. She was just like, if you want something fast, do Reiki. And then she introduced me to someone, but I didn't really like get that session that as effective. But what happened was the day that I had the session with her, that lady, it was like a telecall like this. She said something that was just like psychically true of something I did that morning. It's like, she said, oh, are you a religious person? I was like, I'm Catholic. But then she said she saw me going to a monk, which I did that morning.
Oh, wow.
Exactly that morning. So I was like, I began to like, oh, wow. And then so I searched, and then I connected to another healer in America. And then I did sessions with her. It was like distance session. And during the session, I began to see things like see my angels and so on. And I have a son who he grew up having the challenges, like he was born kind of like special. He's smart, but he struggles like ASD, ADHD. So I've been into a lot of like holistic healing my whole life, his whole life, basically, especially like doing homeopathy, other, you know, healing modalities, like on the receiving ends. Yeah, but once I get in touch with the Reiki, and then I start seeing things, it's like, oh my gosh. And then I started connecting to my guides, and I began to open up my psychic abilities. And then I realized that when I was a child, I actually see things, but because I was scared, when I go to bed, I was like, don't dream. And I pray whole night, every night.
So you kind of push it away. You pushed away your ability.
Right.
Yeah.
And so after I began to open up, and then I got like kind of like accelerated path of getting all my gifts back. And then I connect to people. I mean, I live in Thailand. I connect to people in America via Facebook, and exactly the healer that did the healing with me. So how I started was that was during like COVID out in 2020. I think it was like the end. I'm not sure. I think around 2020 that I began to get like guidance. I was like traveling with I started doing the sending blessing to people all over the world. Like I made a Facebook post, and then like, you know, anybody that go like my post, they receive the blessing at the same time. Let's say I say 1 a.m. on New Year's Eve or New Year. It's 1 a.m. for you in UK. It's 1 a.m. for me in Thailand. It's 1 a.m. for everyone wherever they are. And it really happened. Like people say, I feel the energy. And yeah, it's just like that. It's
well,
like
I was lucky enough to experience a session. You gave me a session. And I have to say thank you so much for that. And so to describe the experience, well, you actually did it while I was asleep, didn't you? So the lovely Dr. Kaz was working on me for about 5 hours, doing some chakra clearing and some energy work on me overnight. And I have to say, the next day, I just felt incredibly chilled, incredibly relaxed, and it was a beautiful thing to give to someone. So who is, you know, with the work that you do, who is your ideal client, and what outcomes do you give them? So, you know, are they feeling more than relaxed, shall we say? What is it that you give to people?
Yeah, I've had like very different experiences of the positive results. So let me just like try to go through it. So let's say my child, right? He has he's like 16 now.
Gosh, you don't
so
look old enough, Dr. Kaz. You do not look old enough to have a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah. I'm a single mother right now. By the way, yeah, it's been tough. I mean, so he was born like very hypersensitive, and I've been like, you know, seeking like holistic healing. I do subliminal for him and whatever, and still it's more like it didn't really solve it for real until I did it myself, and then I'm starting to see shift. So right now I also do offer like ADHD healing package. And then I've helped my cousin who's a doctor that she'd been struggling with, you know, feeling weak and then having kind of like very many different physical symptoms. And this is what happened because she's very familiar with energy healing, and then that's the trapped emotions, which I also do now, and TBM, like total body maintenance. I think that they use some kind of like similar to chiropractic, and what that does, the practitioner can kind of like, you know, intuitively check what is wrong, but it's not as detailed as what happened. So what happened to me, it was like, because it's my belief that a lot of illnesses, especially the ones that you are born with, like my depression or my son's challenges, or even my sister, my cousin, like, I mean, I grew up like very close to them. So I could, yeah, she's like my sister. I believe a lot of illnesses is tied to karma, like, you know, past life karma, or you were born with certain challenges. I think I'm like, am I losing you?
The internet on your end just went a little bit weird. Is it mine or yours? I'm not sure.
You're freezing right now on my screen. I'm not sure if it's.
Yeah.
Do you hear me though?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just that this the
Yes, I can see
like...
my screen is frozen. I'm not sure why. We've had some work being done on the street, I think, and for the internet, but we can hear you all right. So just carry on. It's clearly not doing the video very well.
So yeah, I believe that a lot of sicknesses especially the ones that you were born with, is tied to karma. So I help my cousin with, like, using karmic clearing. And she asked me, like, what did you find out? So I was like sitting down with my pendulum for and then kind of like transcribing what are the symptoms. And then I sent to her, which was like about 30 things. And she was like, wow, how do you know that? So yeah, so some of my healing is like on the physical healing, and then I helped my father with his prostrate gland. I think he had kind of like
prostate.
the value is unhealthy, and then I was able to help him bring it down. And then also he had like eye surgery that something went bad, and then it ended up bleeding, so I had to do that. And then it helped him, and then he underwent like the second surgery, and then he came out healing very fast, like within a few days.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so he's doing fine. Myself, after I gave birth, I ended up with like very stiff abdomen. And then I kind of like decrystallize it. And I used to have like foggy eyes, so that also clears up. So that's like so on the level,
so it really does
on the level of physical,
yeah.
I also help flush out my father's like kidney stones, but they are like small ones, not like big ones. And my ears, I used to have cysts, which I had surgery, and it comes back, but then I kind of like healed it myself. So those are on the physical level. Another one is I see the way my energy activation or the work, just similar to the one that I gave to you. But what I did to you, it was just 7 chakras, but I do have like 117 chakras, which will remove all the blockages and negative mindset. And what it does, a lot of people, but some people may take several times of healing before they start to feel it. But they would become more open to awareness. And then I can also help people like kind of connect to their higher self, ascension. We call it ascension, is like vibrate higher into like being calmer and more aware. And that's also one of the techniques I use for ADHD or ASD, is to raise their awareness as well. So like for ADHD, ASD, I will clear the chakras first. Normally for any kind of healing, and this is very popular. For me, the most popular session is 114 chakras clearing, but it's very intense. Like the one you had, it was 5 hours, that's 7 chakras, right? So if it's like 114, it would be like 10 hours.
Do you actually work? Do you work for that full 10 hours?
No. That's why I call it like some sessions are activations. By activations means I don't really have to do that much like of the time, but I have a way to channel the energy and the commands that the energy would flow to you. So it works the same way as I get activated. So to talk about how is it that I'm able to do high vibrational energy, I would say I'm fortunate to have connection like the spiritual team, like the angels and the divine that I get connected to. And a lot of these are, the past life connection that once I work on myself. But to get here, I needed to work a lot on myself. Like I get activations a lot. I vibrate a lot. It's like I would be like shaking all the time. And hours and hours of meditation and self-work to get here. to get
Fantastic.
connected.
I'm just gonna try switching my camera off and just switching it back on because I can see it's really there we go. I'm back.
Oh yeah, you're back.
I don't know.
Okay.
I was just
Yes.
sitting there like that for the whole session. I was actually paying great.
So yeah, I would have to say that I'm blessed and I'm grateful for the higher power, like God and the divine, but it's also a part. That's why I say, it's like life path. I do reading too. I do Akashic records clearing because I'm not sure if you're familiar with Akashic records. So we have like the records that before we were born, and then this record like store everything, all the energies, past life, this life, everything. So there are two ways, like we can clear our body, our spirit, like this physical body and maybe energetic body or whatever. And then there's the Akashic records that also store energy, so we can clear that too. And it's my belief that we are born with certain missions. That's called like soul mission, kind of like mission. Like, what are you born to do? And then, yeah, life lessons. We are born to, learn specific lessons. And then challenges, just like, the illnesses, or some people just, they keep having this kind of challenges, or maybe, let's just say I had depression. That may be my challenge that I was born with. Or at certain point, I'm like very sensitive. Now I'm freezing. Okay. I struggle with feeling taken for granted, for example. That's also my challenge. Those are the things that I have to heal. So I have that session called like soul contract reading.
Okay.
Yeah. So so my purpose, I think, but I get that I was born to heal. And I also get confirmed by another Akashic Records reader and other spiritual elder that like I connect with. And so, yeah.
What a great gift to be able to heal others. And
yeah, but it took a lifetime. It took decades to know that.
You're still younger than me. And, I only really found my purpose, probably about 7 years ago.
Yeah, it's also a struggle because that my title is like, I have a PhD in industrial engineering. So I mean, I struggle with sort of self-worth, and then I did contact you for help, and then I'm so grateful for like, it kind of like helped me when I was, let's say, losing my way a bit. Yeah,
we can have a chat afterwards because there's a couple of things that you've spoken about today that I think I might just be able to give you some tips with, but I won't do that on this because this is about you and your business. So just finally then, because we're nearly at the end of our time now, but just finally, do you have any offers, or can you tell us what your website? We'll put your website beneath this recording, but just let us know your website if you've got any particular offers that you want to talk to people about today, or if there is, just your preferred type of client that you really like to help or enjoy helping and really know that you can get results for.
Yeah, so my website is drkazreiki.com.
So that's drkazreiki.com.
Yeah, right. And I have a Facebook group that like I share, sort of like healing tips, and some of the things is Energy Medicine by Kaz. That's the name of the Facebook group. And yeah, there are a lot of information on my website, like my credibility, my like under the shop tab, the tab like called shop, there are like more than 40 sessions type. It could be confusing. The best way to work with me is people would approach me, and just like you, right? We chat, like, how are you like feeling? What is your objective? And so, yeah, I would be able to advise like what kind of things that I can help you with. I also do relationship sessions that would clear kind of like, you know, negative energies in the bonding. Let's say if you have mother-son relationship or like partners or any kind of relationship. And this also tied with like clearing karma as well. So yeah, the best way is approach me with your symptoms, and then yeah, I'll be able to kind of like connect and then advise you. One thing I do always emphasize, a lot of people, sometimes they come to me and they expect everything to be solved by one session. That's not anything I can guarantee. Also with physical healing, I would say that I can help in ways that complement physical healing, or I can help any way you feel better, right? Just like you experience that there's no harm. But let's say, I mean, the positive results that I get is like ADHD children. I mean, they cannot be healed by any other, I don't know, medicine may help, but there are side effects. Another thing I can do is I can harmonize vaccine and nutrients. Like I can like attune the medication so that the negative side effects don't get to you. So that's another way. So yeah, my ideal client would be the ones that understand that I do my best to help. And I always check back with my client, how are you feeling? If you're experiencing anything, you know, I'm here to advise you. Also, another thing is with energy healing is like an exchange. That could be releases, just like I told you, right? Some people may feel it's like, it's the law of exchange. Basically, if you clear karma, why are you able to clear karma and heal your physical illness? Because you're exchanging from something that's very, very severe to something that you can process. And then I can have like a way to help you ground the energy to, I call it drain toxin. Like I channel my energy into a video that I can send to my clients. So yeah, the things is like, be open-minded and understand that I do my best, but you know, sometimes I get anxious too, like when people, you know, receive and then I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. I was like, okay, it's a release. And yeah, you know, and I always tell my followers, healings are like, if you see a big black ball, you think you peel it. It's not white. You will see whatever is underneath. So it's just peeling and peeling and peeling. And just like me, yeah, I'm still healing. It's like, it's called ascension, and ascension means, it doesn't mean you go to heaven or whatever. Well, yeah, we want to go to heaven. We want to go to nirvana. But by ascension means raise yourself to be higher vibration into the more positive and calmer, less trauma. But yeah, we are human, right? Thoughts is like,
absolutely.
and here's your work and mine can go together.
Yeah, well,
I was doing like I was doing a video. I was just say, you know, that's like the thoughts, right? You talked about thoughts bring emotions.
Yeah.
So like emotions and energy I can clear, but recurring thoughts, that's when hypnosis can help.
Absolutely. The subconscious mind is what right. Well, I'm conscious that we're just about to run out of time, but just one final thing. Is there anything that, you know, we have a lot of business owners in this group. Is there anything that you yourself need help with in your business whilst you're growing?
Well, I had problems with conversion, and I've seen a lot of like coaches or you know, business healers that like teach me to do packages, and I'm trying to do that, but I'm not able to sell a lot of packages because most of the time the people that come to me, they would just say, you know, that's like a lot of money. And so yeah. I do struggle with that.
Next week, we have a lady called Kylie Anderson, who I'm interviewing for the Business Spotlight. Kylie is a friend of mine, and she would be able to give you a whole heap of advice. She is absolutely brilliant at just being able to show you how to package something up and to create, recurring income. That's what she does. So stay tuned to next week and have a chat with her. She's just great. She's not going to big sell you on anything. She's just really, really good at helping you do that kind of thing. So that's all we've got time for today, but it's been absolutely lovely having a chat with you, Dr. Kaz. It's an area that I'm completely fascinated with, and we will be talking a lot more, I'm sure. So I'm going to end this meeting right now. So thank you everybody for tuning, and stay tuned for next week, where we've got Kylie Anderson talking about packaging up your business into recurring revenue. Okay, so let me just stop this recording.